Gamers, what's good? Masterduel Central, we have a new event, the monster type event, and it's probably already started by the time you're watching this video. Whenever we have a new event, I like to do this little series called What Should You Play? It's a nice little community effort where people from the Masterduel Central Discord, which is free to join, link in the description, will send me different replays and different deck lists of decks they might want to play in the event so that I can give you guys a bit of an idea of what you could try out, maybe some interesting deck lists. Now, since this event is divided into fairies and fiends, those are our two monster types, I thought it'd be really cool to make one What Should You Play for fairies and a What Should You Play for fiends. So we're going to start with the fairies, and the link to the fiend one will be in the description as well as in the end card of this video. And if you're wondering what I'm going to play, well, it's not really a fairy deck, and honestly, I don't even know if this is going to be good. And yeah, it just looks disgusting, right? Anyway, don't judge me. Let's get into the deck lists. Actually, real quick, before we get into the deck lists, this is basically just the main hand traps that you can use in the event. So the heralds here are mostly for fairies, so I guess I won't show these in the fiend video. But yeah, you can use these heralds, and they're all actually pretty good. Even Herald of Purple Light, since I think the most popular deck in the event is probably going to be Labyrinth. Herald of Purple Light could actually be pretty good if your deck is mostly fairy based. Same for Green Light. I mean, Green Light is just a good card, and Herald of the Orange Light is only at 1, but it's definitely the best out of this trio right here. Also, Skullmeister is also going to be quite good because it could just negate an effect in the graveyard, including like a graveyard effect of Welcome Labyrinth or the graveyard effect of like any Labyrinth card that recurs itself. And you could also negate the graveyard effects of Dark Worlds, which I also think Dark World is going to be quite popular in the event. So Skullmeister might be a really good choice. It's also not once per turn, so you can actually, if you have 2 copies in your hand, let's say, you can actually negate 2 graveyard effects in that turn. Evenly is a no-brainer. This is probably going to be a best board breaker in the event. We have Infinite Impermanence, of course. Infinite Impermanence is going to be probably the most popular hand trap because it can be in pretty much any deck, and it's pretty much always good whether you're going first or second. Red Reboot, I think this is going to be a game-winning card for a lot of people in the event. If people are playing Labyrinth, you know, there's going to be a lot of Labyrinth going around, so it's pretty safe to just run a Red Reboot, and if you draw it, it's just this free game ticket, you know, just a free win. So yeah, I think these are going to be some really solid hand traps. Now we can actually get into the deck lists. All right, so for our first deck list here, shout out to Yoshimitsu in the Discord, and this deck list right here is Weather Painters. Now you can see some empty spots down here. I just figured he was running a couple of hand traps. I could even like remove the Red Reboot here, I guess, and even the evenly matches, but I feel like those kind of go without saying. But I was just thinking, you know, we can leave these spaces empty. These are basically like just going second options and staples. If you guys want to run some hand traps, some kaijus, stuff like that, you know, feel free to use these slots for it. He was running like some lava golems, which I think is a bit questionable in a deck where you really want your normal summon. So, you know, up to you, depending on what you have, you know, maybe another copy of Red Reboot if you have it, just some really good hand traps or stuff like that. But yeah, Weather Painters, I mean, it kind of goes without saying that they'll be good in this event. They have solid Omni Negate option. They can run Dimensional Fissure, which is really, really strong against both of the best decks in the Fiend type. The extra deck is also pretty varied, but you know, Weather Painter, this one is an Omni Negate. Well, not, it's a Summon Negate. Basically, you get multiple Omni Negates if you have multiple Weather Painter monsters under your Weather Painter Rainbow. This deck is definitely going to be quite crazy in this event. I definitely think people are sleeping on fairies. People are saying it's going to be a Fiend only event, a Labyrinth only event. I don't think so. This deck probably has a quite good matchup against Labyrinth in particular, so I think it's going to be interesting to see how good this deck is. And for our next deck list, huge shout to Mazinger, as always, who's always pulling up for these videos. We have the Melodious, and obviously Melodious is a little expensive, not the kind of deck you build for the event, but if you have the Melodious, if you like the Melodious archetype, it's probably going to be pretty good. I mean, this is like a hard going second focused deck. However, it does have the ability to set up a pretty crazy lock. So Area says, while this special summon card is on the field, your monsters can't be targeted or destroyed by battle. And then with the Elegy, all Melodious monsters you control cannot be destroyed by card effects. So that means all your monsters can't be destroyed by card effects, can't be destroyed by battle, or cannot be targeted. So this little lock right here is actually really crazy, and it's probably going to be pretty hard to out for this type of event. As for the cards, I mean, look, it's Melodious. If you guys played this deck in maybe like Duel Links, you might have a decent amount of experience with them. They're actually like pretty consistent, not like the craziest consistency in the world, but good enough that you'll be able to break boards going second and usually go for game, or at least set up some control on the board using, again, the Area and Elegy stuff. It's pretty crazy. We have a good replay for this, so I can't wait to show that off, and let's get on to the next deck list. All right, for this next deck list here, we have Starcock. Nice name, by the way. Yeah, I mean, it's Trickstar. It's going to do goofy stuff, right? It's going to do a lot of burn damage, running the 3 Dark Room of Nightmare, you know, do a bunch of spammy summons. I mean, you guys know Trickstar. Do you like Trickstar? It's either you love or hate this deck. Personally, I'm in the hate camp, but, you know, I mean, we're kind of like, we got to show it off because it is like a solid fairy deck, and, you know, it's kind of goofy, but I'm not going to lie, in an event like this, you know, you got to play with what you have. This guy has the Trickstar stuff. So, yeah. Anyway, shout out again to Starcock. And we do have a replay for this, but on to the next deck list. And last but not least, we have Fluffle / Frightfur. Now, I could put this in the Fiend video, but we have a lot of decks for the Fiend video already. And I mean, the Fluffles are fairies, you know, so I just figured, you know what, we'll throw these in the fairy list. Really, it could be one or the other, which is completely fine. But yeah, shout out to EAF for this deck list. He also sent a replay, although he sent it in like video form, so it's going to be a little lower quality, but it is what it is. Either way, I mean, if you guys don't already know Fluffles, they're basically just a really consistent fusion deck, builds a lot of advantage, has a really good grind game, can go second really well, and just kind of crush the board, which is why we're running a lot of going second cards in here. It's a really cool deck. It's very cute, very adorable. It's going to look great in the thumbnail. So yeah, shout out EAF for this deck list, and we're going to get into those replays. All right, so first up, we're going to go for Mazinger's replay of Melodious. So let's give it a look. Let's see how it goes. Is he going first? Probably going second. Usually you go second with this deck. All right, yeah, so going second. 2 Pot of Extrav, 1 Lightning Storm, 1 Ostinato, and Condemned Witch. And, oh, it seems like bro is playing this in ranked ladder too. So, damn. Going against Despia with freaking Melodious and ladder. Okay. Okay, so going for the Aliber here, getting the Branded Fusion. Let's fast forward a bit through this. Going for Branded Fusion. Yeah, making themselves an Albion. Then they're going to go for Albion Effect. Banishing the Aliber and the Albaz to make Lubellion. Lubellion Effect discard. And we get to return with Regain. Draw a card. Shuffle 2. Make Mirror Jade. Very good. Very good. Then they get to summon out the Lubellion. Get the Branded Beast. Summon out Alistair. Get Invocation. Whoa. Okay, this deck is kind of based, I'm not going to lie. And they're making... Caliga. So they're floodgating with Caliga. Then they're going to go Invocation Effect to add back the Alistair. And yeah, that's a pretty disgusting turn, honestly. Pretty disgusting. And they get the Branded in red, too. This is pretty nasty. Pretty nasty. So they're trying to floodgate here. Let's see what we do about it. We're going to go for Pot of Extrav, banishing a couple of cards, draw 2. Then we're going to go Lightning Storm, destroy all the back row. Forbidden Chalice on the Mirror Jade. Ostinato, they're going to chain the Mirror Jade effect to banish what exactly? Anyway, it's negated, so it doesn't matter. So we're going to make ourselves a Bloom Prima, the Melodious. This card gains 300 attack for each fusion material used for its summon. This card can make a second attack during each battle phase. If this fusion summon card is sent to the graveyard, target 1 Melodious monster in the grave and add it to the hand. And we're just going to beat over the Caliga to get rid of it. Then we're going to go for our score, the Melodious Diva, beat over the Mirror Jade effect to pop, but we're going to go Condemned Witch here, search our Forbidden Chalice, special summon out our, what was that one called? Our Cannon, the Melodious Diva, and summon out Bloom Harmonist. If this card is linked summon, you can discard 1 card, special summon 2 Melodious monsters with different levels from your deck to your zones this card points to. So I guess we're going to summon those 2 that are going to make our cards untargetable and indestructible by battle or card effect. That's going to be pretty crazy. Yep, here it is. This is so crazy. So we're going to go for Soprano. When this card special summon, you can target 1 Melodious monster in your grave and add it to your hand. And with the Elegy, special summon Melodious monsters you control can't be destroyed by card effects. So then with this one, we can add back our copy of Sonata. We can go for the... wait, what? Oh, we can fusion summon you. Oh, I didn't even know that. We can fusion summon using the Soprano. Go into Schuberta. During either player's turn, you can target up to 3 cards in any graveyard. Banish them, and if you do, this card gains 200 attack for each. Yo, this is actually pretty solid, even against Branded. And also, they have the protection, so we don't care about the Mirror Jade effect in the end phase since we have Elegy on the field. So here we go. Summon out the Sonata. Oh my god. And we just set the Chalice. They get to pop 1 card, but all our Melodious monsters are protected from destruction. They're going to summon out Alistair. We're going to go Chalice on the Alistair in hand. They're going to go for battle. We're going to activate our effective score. So their monsters change to 0 attack. And it's GG. Bro, I think we can say Melodious is going to be pretty solid in the event. And not to mention, guys, don't forget it's a festival. You don't have to play the best deck in the festival to get all the gems. So this is a pretty sick deck. I'm not going to lie. Shout out Maz. All right, so next up here, we can do Starcock. Starcock with these trick stars. So yeah, let's see. We have Mandrake, Candina, Corbane, I mean, and Pot of Desires. So we're gonna start with the Pot of Desires, banish 10 to draw 2. And we're going to go Candina. When it's normal summon, you can add the Light Stage to your hand, activate the Trickstar Light Stage, search out the Licorice. Then we're going to go for Licorice, targeting Cardina. Then we can trigger our Corobane, sorry. First summon Corobane, make Holly Angel. Oh man, I don't know much about this deck. Going for Trickstar Magical Laurel here, bring back our Licorice from the graveyard, and we get to do a little bit of burn damage. Set the Called by the Grave, and just pass turn here. Activate Licorice again because our opponent drew a card. Then we get to go Holy Angel. That gains attack equal to the damage they took until the end of the turn. We can trigger our Laurel to special summon from our hand a Mandrake and do a bit more burn damage. And then we go Holy Angel. It gains even more attack. They're going to main phase 1. They're going to go for Raigeki. Raigeki, that's pretty solid here. That's pretty crazy. But our monsters are protected, I think, by this one. Yeah, so there we go. They're going to go for Magician's Souls. We're going to go for Called by the Grave on Dark Magician. That's interesting. I guess against a Dark Magician deck, Called by on Dark Magician is decent. I don't even know. I'm going to go for Dark Magical Circle, going Apprentice Illusion Magician, searching a Dark Magician, and they take a little bit of burn damage because they added a card to their hand. They're going to beat over the Licorice, and it's back to our turn here. So we got a little bit of burn in, and we did stop this Dark Magician player from popping off, I guess. Going Trickstar Light Arena, summon Candina, search Trickstar Festival, summon a 2 tokens to link into another copy of Holly Angel. Then using all 4, we go into Bella Madonna, and we get to trigger our Light Arena in the grave, bring back our Candina, do a little bit of more of burn damage with the Bella Madonna, swing over their monster, set the Chain Summoning. Now this is a little interesting. I guess, wait, this is a weird one. This is a weird game. Weird replay. Alright, so Trickstar Light Arena, get to make this card unactivatable and do a little bit of burn, get a pop. Trickstar Life Stage, we drew 2 cards off of our Pot of Desires, special the Licorice, bring back the Candina, search the Reincarnation, set Reincarnation and Present card, and we get ourselves 2 tokens. Make a black Catbat. I've never seen this card before. They're going to activate Solemn Judgment, making our burn strategy even easier, and now we can pretty much just kill them at any given time. We're going to win as soon as they draw a card here, take a little bit of burn, and call it a day. That's Trickstars, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, not much else to say. It's Trickstar. All right, so for this next replay from EAF, sorry for the lower resolution. He sent it as a video instead of just sending me his friend code. So basically, we're going to have to deal with this with what we have. At least we get to showcase Fluffles in the video, you know? So our opponent activates the weather forecast. We're going to chain Edgem Scythe, which allows us to fusion summon on our opponent's turn. So using the Penguin, we're going to go into a Cruel Whale. Then we're going to trigger the effect of Cruel Whale, where we can destroy both 1 card on the field and a card on your own side of the field. And we're going to trigger our Penguin in the grave. We're also going to activate the Cruel Whale effect to send a Frightful card from deck to the grave and gain half of its attack. So here we go. Boost the attack. Penguin draws 2, then discards 1, and Cruel Whale will pop 2 cards on the field. We pop the continuous spell that they activated with the weather forecast. Then our opponent is going to go for Pot of Prosperity, reveal a couple of cards, probably going to add the Weather Painter Snow here. Yep. Then they're going to go for the effect of weather forecast and summon the Weather Painter Snow, activating the same continuous spell from their deck. They're going to search another Weather Painter monster with the snow, and Weather Painter is going to send the canvas to the graves to set to activate, well, to place face up a trap on the field, and they're going to set Impermanent Pass. We draw into Foolish Burial Goods, and in standby phase, Snow summons itself back. We're going to go for Foolish Burial Goods, send to the grave a copy of Toy Vendor. Then we can trigger the Toy Vendor in the grave, search a Fluffle Dog from our deck. Going to activate Fright for Patchwork, which is a pretty crazy card, and we search the Edgem Chain with the Polymerization. Activate the Lightning Storm, getting rid of all the back row is pretty crazy. Then we can go for Fluffle Dog, search the Fluffle Cat, activate Polymerization, and then using Fluffle Cat as well as the Edgem Chain, we can make ourselves a copy of Fright for Kraken. So now, I mean, Kraken is pretty crazy, but we also have all our triggers in the grave, so Fluffle Cat is going to add back our Polymerization. Edgem Chain is going to, wait, what does Edgem Chain do already? It searches a Fright for Patchwork, right? No, it searches a Fright for card, so we get to go grab Fright for Fusion. Activate Polymerization here, and we can make ourselves a Sabertooth. Then we're going to trigger the Sabertooth when it's Fusion Summoned. Target 1 Fright for monster in the grave, special summon it. So we get to attack with the Sabertooth, attack with the dog, and attack with our Kraken. Very good, and we've set up a little bit of... Oh, wait, no, I forgot. Kraken can attack twice, and that's game. I honestly think Fluffle is actually going to be really good in this event. That was a pretty good replay. Again, sorry for the lower quality. Just blame EAF, I guess. But yeah, yeah, let's move on to the end of the video now. Anyway, that's going to do it for the fairy what should you play. There's obviously some decks I couldn't cover in this video. If you want, you could play, you know, like counter fairies with a bunch of counter traps. That's a pretty cool deck. Another cool one that I didn't get to showcase that I really wanted to, that I think some people might be on, is Despia Dark Lord. I just didn't have any replays for Despia Dark Lord, unfortunately. But if you guys remember, before the branded fusion came out and stuff like that, Despia Dark Lord was actually a pretty popular variant of the deck. So if you guys have that deck, it's going to be pretty much unchanged. You can basically play that same list from back then. Either way, I really appreciate everyone that participated in this video, and make sure to check out the link in the description for the Fiend What Should You Play, which is going to be coming up next.